Hey, what's up, cats and kittens, and shout out to all my cerebral lights. It is me, the Cerebral Diva, and I'm back with another episode of RealiTea, and that's TEA because I give it to you scalding hot. So grab your cups, grab your saucers, gather around, and let's all partake in this libation of Real Housewives of Atlanta tea. So, season 10, episode 18, season finale. Here we are, it's Eva the Diva's Halloween party, and I'm going to try to I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time because I'm sure you're probably busy just as I am. So I'm just going to try to give you a very quick encapsulation of what happened during this episode. But there is one thing I want to sort of unpack, if you will, and we'll touch on that in just a few seconds here. So the episode centered around Eva the Diva, Eva Pickford, Eva Marcel's birthday party slash welcome to Atlanta slash costume slash Halloween party. There was a lot of slashes there. Um, so so even through the party, all the girls were invited. Both Eva and Sheree showed up as the dueling Cleopatras. So they both had in Cleopatra costumes. Now, um, there was some debate as to who made the better Cleopatra. Now, I will say aesthetically, Eva's just a very beautiful woman. So when it comes down to aesthetics, and it's not that Sheree is top liver, but when you compare the two side by side, it's just yeah. So I'm not gonna do that. um, but in terms of the costume, I really would have to give the leg up to Sheree. To me, Eva's costume looked very Party City. It looked very cheap. It also looked like her with the bang in her wig and her eyebrows were divorcing each other. One was going left, the other was going right. So the wig looked like it was sliding back off of her forehead. It just it didn't look very cohesive to me. Whereas I feel like Sheree's did. Okay, so moving on from that. In addition to that, Greg and Nene sort of took this very overt dig at Kim, where they showed up as an exterminator and a giant roach. Nene was the exterminator, Greg was the roach. Kim was clearly not entertained by their shenanigans, which made it all the more entertaining for us to watch. Um, Costumes on Marlo Hampton. Now, first of all, full disclosure, I can't stand Marlo. Sorry. There's just something about this woman's energy that is toxic. Not a big fan of her, so I just don't like her. She just has snake written all over her. So, but with that being said, her costume, she dressed as Babs, the movie with Halle Berry and Natalie Dessau, I believe is how you pronounce her name. She dressed as a character from Babs. The costume was on point. She looked phenomenal. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. But to me, costume of the night went to Cynthia, aka 50 Cent. Cynthia dressed up as 50 Cent. She looked absolutely amazing as a guy. I was like sitting there with my mouth wide open, like, oh my God, am I really being attracted to Cynthia in this moment? Like, I didn't know how to resolve the feelings that I was having. It was just like, you get where I'm going. So I was just like, wow, Cynthia looks really good as a man. So as much as I love Noel, in that moment, I'm like, damn, I wouldn't be mad if Noel had been born male versus female, but we love Noel. But I think Cynthia definitely needs to procreate. Well, I know she's 50, but Janet did it. So um, I think Cynthia needs a son because the world is being cheated by not having a male incarnation of those genetics. Um, so moving on from that, what I really want to talk about is Sheree, right? In particular, I want to talk about Chateau Sheree because during this episode, and I don't know if it was just a combination of what was happening on the episode or some of the clips that they were showing from the reunion that's coming next week. But as I was watching this episode, I was thinking to myself, well, this entire season, I've been asking myself, why would a woman of Sheree's prominence, and by prominence, I mean a woman who is on a national television show, cable television show, where she has a platform so large and has access to a class of men that women would kill to have access for. Why would a woman of that caliber date a convict? It just doesn't make sense to me. Um, and so I've been trying to understand it all season. So as I was watching this current episode and watching their interaction, I can't remember who asked or how the subject came up, but I remember someone asking her about his income or about his money. And she basically said, "Well, he's fine. He has that covered. Don't worry about that. If I'm not worried about it, neither should you." And at that moment, a light bulb came on in my head because I've been watching this entire season and thinking to myself, in last season as well, like, how is Sheree paying for this house? Like, where is this money coming from? And I don't know if it's true or not, but when I start connecting the dots, like, why would a woman date a man who's in prison who can't necessarily do much for her at this point beyond giving her his word? Why would a woman commit to that? And typically, a woman of Sheree's caliber, um, and cachet would probably go for a man who's going to be able to provide for her. Because let's face it, what is Sheree's skill set? What is she capable of doing? Um, I can't think of anything, and this is not a personal dig at Sheree. I'm not sure if she went to college. I'm not sure if she holds a degree. I'm not sure if she, maybe has bookkeeping experience. I know that she's written a couple of books, but even having written those couple of books, right? When you look at the opulence of Chateau Sheree, um, you know that those books and even her salary from Real Housewives of Atlanta isn't enough to keep her in the standard which she is currently living. There has to be something else supplementing that lifestyle. And that's something else, in my opinion, is Tyrone's dirty money. Like, I don't know if she's laundering money for Tyrone, but I really believe that the reason she's with him is because he has some sort of financial stash that maybe she has access to or she's privy to, and the rest of us are not aware that she has. Because that to me would be the only impetus for her to date a man who's behind bars. Like, in a city like Atlanta, right? Atlanta is like Black Hollywood. So you have, um, there's an abundance of upwardly mobile, professional black men, intelligent, and I don't want to just relegate her to black men and say that she couldn't date outside of her race, but just based on her history, she seems to date within her race. So that's why I'm saying black men. But my point being is that when you live in a city like Atlanta, you're going to be exposed to men who can um, help to keep you in the lifestyle that you want or that you desire, who are not in jail, who don't have criminal records. So what would be the benefit to dating a man who has a criminal record unless there was something in it for you? And to me, I'm sure at some point it's going to come up that Sheree's chateau is being financed by Tyrone. And to be completely honest with you guys, I hope I'm wrong, but that's really sort of the supposition that I've come to at this point, because there's no other logical conclusion. Sheree doesn't have a job. Aside from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, when you look at the rest of the girls on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kenya has her hair care line. Kenya also produces television. And let's see, Portia's on Destination. She's also in a play. Nene's had TV shows. Nene's traveling doing comedy. Cynthia's been a model. Cynthia, she's also on the show. She also has investments in Bar One with Peter. Um, let's see, Kim has her own show with her husband. Her husband's a professional football player. Um, let's see who else is it. Phaedra, when she was on the show, she was an attorney in addition to being on the show. Everyone on the show has other business ventures that we know of aside from Sheree. So the only logical conclusion one can come to is that Tyrone has become her business venture. So anyhow, you guys, I just wanted to say that really quick just because it's been one of those things that's sort of been sort of replaying in my consciousness. So I want to know what you think, whether or not you think Tyrone is really sort of the bank, if he's bankrolling Chateau Sheree. So make sure you comment below. With that being said, you guys, I'm going to get out of here. Remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. It is me, the Cerebral Diva, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day.